Great health. Every day, responsible self. Where the fighters we're fighting for our health. The future in great health. Today, every day, responsible self. Where the fighters we're fighting for our health. The future in great health. Today, every day, responsible self. We're the fighters we're fighting for our health.
Well, good morning. Welcome to WMPR 90.1. To My Help, My Mississippi. I'm Chef Charles. Thank you for being with us today. We're going to bring you some information that you can grab on the run, some information that's going to make a difference in your life for the rest of your life. Let me just say this out the bat. We're not going to tell you to stop taking your medication. This is our disclaimer. To stop taking your medication, to stop seeing your doctor. That's not what we're saying, but we're here to give you some information about some food. My goal is for you to view food as medicine, and it'll make a difference in your life for the rest of your life. So we are so excited about you being here today. Thank you for getting up early this morning and being a part of WMPR 90.1. Well, we're the number one station in the nation that's providing you some great, healthy information. We are My Help, My Mississippi. I got my fighter shirt on. I got my fighter's cup. Fighter stand for future in great health today, every day, responsible self. Let me say this off the bat. High blood pressure is not mandatory. Diabetes type 2 is not mandatory. Okay? High cholesterol is not mandatory, but action is required. And we want to bring you some information that you can put into action to help lower your blood pressure, reduce your diabetes type 2, reverse it even in some cases, and lower your high cholesterol. Okay, so we're going to be doing that for you, and we're excited about doing that for you. And food will do that. So let me just ask you, how many of you had fruits this week, every day this week? Raise your hand. If you're driving, don't. But listen, we got to get these fruits into our system every day. We got to get the greens into our system every day. Here are the 4 categories that we always like to talk about. That is vegetables, fruits, grains, and then your beans and your peas, which are called legumes. We want to make sure that you're getting these into your system every day. Why? Because it's going to help you fight off the diseases that you can't avoid. You can't avoid germs. You can't escape from germs. You can't run from germs, but your system can be high enough so it can do what? Fight for you. And that's what we want you to do. We want you to be able to fight. Listen, we're on the air because wherever you are, we want to be there. And there's some people that are helping us to be where you are. So we want to give a shout out to Amada Senior Care. They are helping to support this message this morning at My Help, My Mississippi. And we want to give a shout out to Tabernacle Ministry Academy. They also feel like, you know what, it's important to get this word out. So we're going to help support you. So we're so thankful and grateful for them. We have a special guest for us this morning. She's Dr. Judy Johnson Evans. I'm going to introduce her. I'll let her introduce herself in a few minutes, but I want you to know that we are here because of you, and the information that you're going to receive is going to be information that's going to help you. I want to make sure that you understand that we're here to give you food education, because I believe that if we had more food education, we would be on less medication. Let me say that again. I believe if we had more food education, we would be on less medication. For an example, if you knew all of the red food, the color red food that was out there that was providing you with some great nutrients like lycopenes, antioxidant, and it even helped with prostate cancer and other types of cancer. That's what those red peppers or red tomatoes. So we want to make sure you're getting those. And like the orange food, like carrots and yams and sweet potatoes, they're providing you with beta carotene, which is the cousin of lycopene. I don't need you to be concerned with all of these different names, but just by the different color of food that you see, it's going to add some things to your body that you will never believe. Okay. So that's what I want you to do. Thank you again for being with us. I'm not going to prolong our guest, but the second half of our show, we're going to be talking about, because I want you to get your notepads and things together. The second part of our show, we're going to be talking about your view of the doctor, your expectation of the doctor, your view of yourself, your expectation of yourself, your view of food, and your expectation of food. And we're going to tie it all together. So get ready. But let me right now welcome our guest. Welcome to the show, Dr. Judy.
Thank you.
Dr. Judy, tell people the church that you're affiliated with and just introduce yourself.
I'm Judy Johnson Evans. I'm a member of Tabernacle Ministries, the Tabernacle Ministries, 2025 North Sywell Road. We are there at the corner of Highway 18 and Sywell Road in Jackson, Mississippi.
And you all help support the show, is that
We
right?
help support the show through our academy. We have an academy, and our pastor is McHenry Bolden Jr., and our pastor's wife is missionary Jacqueline Bolden. And just the disclaimer, I'm not a doctor, but it's an inspiring thing that I desire to be one day before I leave here.
Absolutely. But listen, you have had an interesting story. You know, your husband passed away, and you were telling me he was on a lot of medication, and you changed your life where you were pretty much using food as medicine. You everything you put in your mouth, you think about it now, and you make sure that regardless, because I know how busy you are, but regardless of what you're doing or have to do that's on your agenda, you make sure that you get out, you get some exercise. Tell us
Yeah.
how all of that take place and why does that take place, and how much medication and how did that change your life? Seeing your husband on this, because sometimes, like I watched my mom. My mom died at 58 years old. She was sickly. I was, I was at the dialysis with her, and that impacted me. I watched my sister die of cancer. That impacted me. I had another one die of leukemia, which is another form of cancer. All that impacted me. How did your husband's situation impact you and make some change?
Well, it made a difference in my life. My husband was on a lot of medication, and we had more ologists in our life than you care to name, and endocrinologists, rheumatologists, a pulmonary specialist, a cardiologist. We had so many doctor's appointments every month. We had 3 or 4 doctor's appointments, and after you see that, it can change your whole life. It led me to becoming vegan. It was not. Long process. It's just like I quit cold turkey. It's like, okay, this is what I need to do for myself, because it just makes a difference with the things that you eat, that you get plenty of rest, that you get plenty of exercise, you eat right. All of those things matter in your life, in order to make some difference in your life. You have to make a decision. That's what it is. It's a decision. I want to eat better. And then the other thing is to look at it. It's like you decide this is what's best for me. Your health is your wealth,
Mm-hmm.
and it is. And people don't really believe that, but it is. So what you put into your body affects your body. That's where the difference comes. So we have to make a decision whether we want to live or whether we're going to go early. We have to make a decision. My husband died early, but he had a lot of health issues.
So say that again. You said what you put in your body affects your body.
What you put in it affects it, right? If you put the right things in it, your body's going to do much better than if you put those bad things in it. The sugar. The sugar will do you in by itself.
Mhm.
So you have to make sure that you're drinking plenty of water, getting the right kinds of fruits and vegetables. I mean, I just love fruits and vegetables. So that's kind of the diet that I chose to take care of myself. And it's not, it's it's not that you can't do it. You have to decide to do it.
It's not that you can't do it, it's just that you have to decide to do it. Yeah. So chips every day doesn't keep the doctor away, wherever that comes from.
That old saying, an apple a day keeps the doctor away.
Not
It's a good
chips
saying.
enough.
Not chips. Not chips that has that salt in it. You don't need that salt in
Yeah.
your system, because it affects you in a different kind of way.
And so, and you went on, did you go back to school after your husband expired? You got your PhD?
No, I
You did.
got a
You
master's
got your master's degree.
from
I remember seeing you
Mississippi State University
so
in
you,
workforce development, matter of fact.
it was what again?
In workforce development,
Workforce
leadership.
development and leadership. Okay.
Mhm.
So you were inspired to take care of you and you went on to accomplish some other things for you. It is not easy to, and anyone that's in our listening audience know to lose someone that you love and or someone that transition on, and then for you to move on
Mhm.
when you, but you refocus on your health. You're able to watch, and I did similar thing, but again, it's not easy. But watching other people suffer, uh, and knowing that food could make a difference, but they're in the middle of it, and then you do get something out of it. You learn to make some changes, and although those changes are not going to be easy, you just make a decision, as you say,
Right,
to go forward.
right. You have to make that decision. Now, I have some family members who say, my mom, for instance, uh, is 96 years young.
Okay,
Turned 96 this past Sunday. Just a wonderful lady who still gets
96.
around, and all that stuff. My mom said, "I'm gonna eat me some meat,"
Uh,
but it's just something I have to do for me. And then so it helps the
mm.
people around you to be conscious of. You don't have to eat everything you see. Just eat some things to get you through the day.
So I wanna, I don't want to miss this, and I don't want people to miss this. So you said for me. So you got to do it could be somebody in your family, it could be a spouse. You are making a decision for you. You
Right,
can't change nobody else,
right.
but you can make some changes for yourself.
You can.
So you said you did it for me.
Right,
You did it
right.
for you.
I'm basically not a selfish person, but for my health, I'm doing it because it will make a difference in my life, and that's what we have to do. That's one reason for us to be selfish, you know, so that we don't have. My husband had 10 or 15 prescriptions,
10 to 15 prescription. Mm-hmm.
that he had to take every day. Some of
Yeah.
them twice a day,
Wow.
and so. Um, the less medication that we are taking, the better our bodies are prepared to deal with all of our health situations.
And my help, my Mississippi, my mission, our mission is to empower people to view food as medicine. If I can just get, that's the purpose. And then to embrace, obviously, a plant based diet for a healthier life. But the idea, if they just do that first part, just view food as medicine. In other words, because my mom used to say a long time ago, you are what you eat.
That's right. They always said
And
it.
and and for us just to put anything, not even looking at the label to know what it is that we're eating, but for us just to put anything into our bodies, to me, is disrespecting the body.
It is. And I worked in the health profession for a long time. I was actually a medical technologist, almost 36 years. I worked at a reference lab. Then I went to the VA for a while, 3 years. And then I worked at the University Medical Center in the Boston Children's Hospital. So I had a chance to see it from all angles. And at our hospital, they always had these wonderful classes that would teach you that you need to exercise, that you need to get plenty of rest, that you need to eat the right things. It's a package. It's not a one size fit all.
Hmm.
So in that, it takes all of that to make it, and then your mental capacity has to be what it's supposed to be as well. What you think?
Hmm.
You know, the Bible says that whatsoever man thinketh, so
Hmm.
is he.
Hmm.
So you have to think more of yourself to do better by yourself.
You know, said it again.
You
You
have to
have to
think more of yourself to do better by yourself.
you have to think more of yourself to think
To do
to do
better
better
by yourself.
by yourself.
Mhm.
We're going to be mentioning that when I start talking about in the second half. So when we talk about how we view the doctor, how we, expectation of the doctors, and how we view ourselves, and then our expectation of ourselves, and then how we view food, and then our expectation of food. Those are three categories there that I'm so excited about. But you just nailed it there. So during your experience, you said you worked in the medical field for like 36 years,
36 years.
and you and they were.
Actually, 38. I worked for Dr. Robert Smith first
Oh yeah, you
for
okay?
about 3 years
Yeah.
before, and then went to med tech school when I was at Dr. Smith's office, becoming a med technologist. Because I had gone to Jackson State, had a bachelor's degree that I could not do anything with in biology.
Uh huh.
Couldn't do anything with it. So I did odd jobs until I got in that profession in the lab, started working in the lab of Dr. Smith's office, and as a result, I decided to go to med tech school.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went to med tech school, you learn so many things about living in life, and those things that you could see all those diseases up close and personal, and all of that makes a difference. So it's like some things you just should not eat. Period. Some things, if they're bad, they give you other diseases. So you just have to
Mm.
be mindful of what you're putting in your body each and every day. That's where the difference comes.
So working in the lab, and you saw all these different diseases up close,
Mhm.
and all the information that you have. Of course, we can't. But they were even trying to, and people do this all the time. They were trying to educate us, which is what we're trying to
Right,
do here,
right,
and that's why I love, my help, my Mississippi, because
right,
we're trying to bring some valuable information to you. But you have to be willing to receive it, and
right,
then you have to put it in practice,
right,
right?
right.
And so seeing all the things that you were able to see in the profession that you're in, the medical profession, and then people always coming because it seemed like nobody was getting it,
Mm-hmm.
and with the same diseases, like let's just look at like hypertension, like high blood, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And again, continue to take your medication for high blood, but you're treating it, but that's not going to get rid of it until you start changing some food, changing some habits, exercising, and different things like that, right?
Right, right, right.
So we tend to be more
Reactive instead of proactive.
absolutely
So we have.
reactive rather than proactive. And then once we get it, we want, again, the doctor to take care of it, right? And again, that's what we're going to be talking about. But we want the doctor to do his part, but a lot of times we're not just willing to do our part.
We have to be willing to do our part. And I mean, I've decided to join a gym. Actually, my sister and I walked. We used to walk 3 miles every day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now she's at a gym, and I go to a gym. And as a result of going to this, you get the chance because my doctor was telling me you need to do some resistance training,
Uh-huh.
right? You need to do some resistance training. I said, okay. And so I joined the gym so that I could, with my health insurance, my
Mm-hmm.
Medicare Advantage plan, was able to join a gym through that plan. And then I got the extra so that she could go with me, so I would have a partner. And when you have a partner, it's like it gives you somebody that helps you to be accountable.
Uh-huh.
So if you're not accountable, nobody to help you keep you accountable. You might decide I'm gonna start today and just drop off tomorrow.
Yeah.
But when you have an accountability person in your life, all of that makes a difference.
So whatever it takes, whether you, and some people can do it by themselves, some people need accountability partners, but wherever you are, just start moving, right?
Right.
And it doesn't have to be extreme exercise, but you just need to be mobile.
Right.
That blood needs to be circulating.
Right.
And when you have the right food, and then the blood is circulating because you're moving, you're gonna rest better, you're gonna feel better, and you're gonna be on less medication because
That's right.
you're giving the body what it
What it
needs.
really needs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is so hard to understand?
I don't think it's hard to understand, but I think, as I said earlier, we have to make a decision. I mean, all of us, we have to make a decision with everything in life. We have to make a decision to get up in the morning and go to work if we want to provide for our families. It's the same thing. If you want better health for yourself, you have to do something different. You can't continue to do the same thing over and over and expect different results. As they said, that's insanity. So we have to, and it's a must. It's not if or and. It is a must that we do something different to change our lives.
So let me rephrase the question. Why do you think it's not too hard to understand, but why do you think it's so hard for us to put that in action?
We don't want better. That's the only thing I can say. You have to not want
Yeah.
better because you can't continue to do the same thing
And expecting
and
a different result.
expect a different result. It
So
doesn't work like that.
you can
It's
take
like that old adage. My mom used to say, "You take the water to the horse to the water, but you can't make him drink."
right.
It's you have to be able to receive what you've been given. When much is given, much is required. So therefore, if you learn a better education of what you need to do for yourself to have a lively, a better life, then you have to make some changes.
Mhm.
We can't we can't do better if we don't make a change. We have to make a change, and that's the thing that's going to make the difference when we decide, look, I want to have a better life. I want to still be. I am 69 years old. I can still get around. I play with the children every day. I get all on the floor with them. We
At
run
the
out
academy,
at
you
the
run it.
academy.
Yeah.
I do all these things, and I'm able to do that because of God's grace and mercy. For one thing, but I want to be here for a long time, as my mother is still here and still can get around. You know, that's what I want. That long life.
And that's not gonna happen. You have to make
No,
it happen.
you have to help it.
You got to
Come
go get it.
along. You have to go out there and do something to make the difference in your life. That it will make a difference in somebody else's life. If somebody can see you, then they say, "Boy, I want to be able to get around when I get that age."
Hmm. Well, you said much is given. We have a liver, a lung, and a kidney, and a heart. All those things have been given to us. I just think it's a disgrace not to take care of what's been given to you, and they're keeping us here.
Right.
So we really have to figure it out, and we got to make it happen. And I totally understand it's not easy. I always say it's not easy to change how you're eating, but I'm willing if it changes how I'm feeling. And I'll say this: we have been taught wrong for so long. I think the only thing was told right to us is an apple a day help keep the doctor away. Everything else seemed like was a lie. We gotta have. Listen, I'm not telling you not to eat meat, but it's not true that that's where you get your protein from. Okay, cows don't eat meat, and why should I have to eat them to get protein? Again, don't call up saying I'm telling you not to eat meat. I'm not. I'm just telling you that's not where you get your protein from. Beans are queens and kings of proteins. Got me? And where do we have to get our calcium from? No, we don't have to have dairy to do that. Now I know you've been told that. Okay, you've been told that over and over and over, and it's hard to change for that. But that's why we now are having to be treated for like your husband was, and I would guess because there's high cholesterol, there's diabetes type 2, and there's high blood pressure, and the food that we eat controls those things.
And then you understand sometimes one of my husband's medication gave him diabetes because he had been on it so long. So some of the medications, the side effects, affect you as well as that medication.
One thing about food is medicine without the side effect.
That's right.
Can I get an amen?
Amen.
I'm telling you.
Amen.
Again, I want to reemphasize. We're not saying stop eating, taking your medicine, please. But talk to your physician and say, hey, look, here's my plan. I'm going to start moving. I'm going to start exercise. And I'm going to start looking at food as medicine. So I'm going to change the way I'm eating. Some of these things that I'm eating is causing me to be sick. Okay. And some of the things that I'm doing, like not moving, is causing me to be sick. Right. And so you're getting on the floor at 69 years old, running and going to the gym and doing all that. And your mom is 86 years old. So good health will not just come to you. You got to go get it.
That's right.
So we got to see it out there and go get it. And you can't get mad at Coca-Cola companies or Lay's potato chips companies because they're making money.
They're doing what
They
they
do.
are designed to do.
It's what they're
Take your
designed to do.
money.
Take. But we have a responsibility to ourselves, our liver and our lungs and our kidneys.
Right.
And we got to decide, make some decision. And again, I know it's a difficult one because you've been doing it for so long.
Right.
And I tell people all the time, there are two plans that we're on. Okay, we're on the T plan or the S&S plan, and everybody want to be on the T plan. Nobody want to be on the S&S plan, right? And so, what is the T plan? The T plan is what can I take?
Mm-hmm.
So what can I take? But nobody wants to be on the S&S plan because with the S&S plan, you gotta stop something old, start something new. You may have to stop eating potato chips and drinking pops every day because it's affecting your kidney, your lungs, and you may have to start drinking water, but you don't want to do that. You're saying, what can I take? Okay, you can take high blood pressure medication. Okay, you can take type 2 diabetes medication. Okay, you can take high cholesterol medication.
Right.
But as you said earlier, some of that is causing other things to happen. Those are facts. Those are just that's what science tells us that.
Right.
So your husband didn't have diabetes, but some of the medication that he was on gave him diabetes. Wow. So just so that you know, there's always some side effects, and they will let you know those side effects. So you got to be diligent enough to ask, hey, doc, what's the side effect of this? Okay. And again, you want the doctor to treat you, but if you want things to reverse and you want things to change, that's on you.
And then the other thing I noticed about my husband that happened with him was that he was in a profession that if you don't do your safeguards, it affects your life as well. He was a sheet metal. He installed lockers, bleachers, basketball goals, bowling walls, things like this. So therefore, that metal, if you don't wear your mask, that metal is going down in your system. So some of that created the situation that he had with his health.
Yeah.
When he got older.
Yeah, it's what goes into our system will affect our system. And so regardless of where it comes from, the environment that we're in, we just got to be conscious and realize the value of a body. This is what bothers me the most, because I was at a function the other day, and a 27-year-old came up and she told me her husband, they need to change their life. She was there being treated for pre-diabetes. She was going to a class, and she said her husband had a heart attack. And I said, oh my goodness. I didn't know her age at the time, but she was 27. And then she told me her husband, well, he was 26 and he had just had one. But she said that was his second one. He had one at 21. But we're going to see more and more of that, because when we're eating the fast food, the French fries, the hamburgers, and all that stuff every day is clogging our arteries. Now,
Right.
don't trust me, test me, look it up, ask your doctor if some of this fat is getting into your bloodstream and is it clogging your blood. Just ask them, okay? And then you decide that you need to make some decision on what you put into your system every day. What goes into the system, you said, does what? Affect the system. You can't put it in and don't expect it to be affected. Am I right?
You're absolutely
All right. So thank you for sharing with us a wealth of knowledge in the medical field for over 36, 38 years.
almost 36 years.
Yeah, and you was a doctor.
38. Yeah, Dr. Smith, 33 years.
Okay,
Yeah.
that is pretty. You saw a lot, and I'm glad that you have decided to make some changes in your life after watching someone as close as a spouse have to take 10 to 15 medication, and for you to make a decision that, you know what, I got to look at food different because I don't want to be where my family has been.
Right. And the other thing is, instead of going to those fast food restaurants, we need to cook at
Absolutely.
home, because what we have to realize is, when we cook at home, we know what we are putting in that food. When we get it from the restaurant, you don't know what they're putting in it.
We
You just know it may taste really well for you, but you don't know what they're putting in it to make it taste as it tastes.
Yeah, a couple of things that for sure they're gonna put in because they know your taste bud. They're gonna have that salt, and they're gonna have that sweet, and they're gonna have that fat. Okay, because it's gonna make it feel good to you, taste good to you, but not be good for you. And that's where we are trying to make a difference at My Health, My Mississippi. Okay. Well, thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. I know you got to get to work. You're just running 69 years old, always on the go. I am not mad at you. Thank you so much for being with us.
I thank you for having me. Could I make just
Sure,
one announcement?
go ahead. Yeah.
Our church service, we're having resurrection service this Sunday at 9 o'clock a.m. Please join us. We'd be delighted to have you. And my brother's having his 50th birthday celebration June 21st at 4 o'clock. Doors open at 4. Program starts at 5 o'clock p.m. And we will be having Founders Month that month as well, the month of June, at the Tabernacle Ministries, 2025A North Sywell Road, Jackson, Mississippi.
Please go out and join them. They are a supporter of My Help, My Mississippi, WMPR 90.1. We are so grateful for you all and your support. Thank you so much. All right. We're going to take a break, and after the break, we're going to come back again. Be ready. We're going to talk about how you view doctors, what you expect of doctors, how you view yourself, what you expect of yourself, how you view food, and what you expect of food. I wouldn't go nowhere if I was you. Stay tuned. WMPR 90.1, where we're giving you some valuable, helpful information. Thank you.
The future in great health today, every day, responsible self. Where the fighters we're fighting for health. The future in great health today, every day, responsible self. Where the fighters we're fighting for health. The future in great health today, every day, responsible self. Where the fighters we're fighting for health. The future in great health today, every day, responsible self. Where the fighters we're fighting for health.
Well, we're back, and thank you for hanging there in with us. Listen, that was some great information. Her husband was on a lot of medication, and now what she's making happen for herself is pretty incredible. 69 years old, still working, still going, still exercising. What you put into your body will absolutely affect your body. Is that right? Listen, here's something good that you can put in your body. It will help your heart, a healthy heart. It contains compounds like magnesium that support cardiovascular health and may reduce the risk of heart disease. It is antioxidant rich. It will help fight oxidative stress and inflammation. It lowers cholesterol. Studies suggest that it may help reduce bad cholesterol, LDL, while maintaining good cholesterol, HDL. Man, that's food. I'm talking about a particular food. Man, that's just good stuff right there. How it can affect one and help the other. May reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes. Wow. This whole grain have been linked to lowering the risk of developing type 2 diabetes. You need to stay around and see what that's all about. Improves metabolism. The magnesium in it plays a key role in energy production. Wow, that's awesome. And it's gluten free, naturally gluten free. Great option for people who are gluten sensitive. And this rich nutrient is has more vitamin and minerals, uh, and including magnesium, phosphorus, and vitamin B and iron. It's high in fiber. Its high fiber content support digestion, help prevent constipation, and promote a feeling of fullness. Who am I? Well, I am brown rice. Y'all, let's get some brown rice in our system. If brown rice is going to do all that for you, I believe we need to start consuming it. I want to make sure that we always tell you one food that will help you tremendously. Brown rice, any rice is good. It's again, it's a it's a carbohydrate. White is okay, but the brown rice is so much better. I just told you all the health benefits that we have there with it, okay? And so brown rice and other brown food that you can have, like your whole grains and your legume, it helps with that fiber. It increase the fiber. And what do I say about fiber? Fiber is to the body what Drano is to a stopped up sink. We got to get that fiber into our system. Listen, if you have questions or comments, you can always reach us at 601-948-5950 at WMPR 90.1. We'll be very appreciative of your call. But let me jump into this real quick. I want to talk to you right now about how you view doctors and your expectation of doctors. How do you view doctors? You may have a comment about how you view doctors, but here's my take on how we view doctors. Doctors are great. They're absolutely fantastic. They help keep so many people alive with the work that they do, and we're so appreciative of them. But we view them as people who will take care of us. We view them, so when we're sick, we view them as people who's going to take care of us. Okay, that's how we view doctors. Most of us. Okay, my doctor told me this. My doctor said this. Most of us view doctors as people who are going to take care of us. What is our expectation of our doctors? We expect our doctors to take care of us, to give us medicine that's going to help take care of us. That's our expectation of that. We view them that way. We expect that of them. And so they do a fantastic job in doing what they can. But let's get to ourselves. How do we view ourselves? And what is our expectation of ourselves? Here's what most of us think of ourselves. Well, we think we can eat what we want, have the fun that we want. We just feel like we're here to enjoy. Why do we eat? We'll ask, why do we eat? We're here to enjoy the food. We don't look at food as medicine. That's how we view ourselves. We just want to eat what we want to eat, when we want to eat it, the way that we want to eat it, right? Whether it's fried or grill or baked, however we want. We'll fry pickles in the South here. What's our expectation of ourselves? Well, we expect to live, but we don't expect ourselves to do anything for the most part to help us live. We just expect to live. Our expectation is on the doctor to help us to live. We don't expect to do anything but live. We don't expect to look at research and see what's the best way that I can avoid having diseases, because diseases are among us and they're rapid. The statistics of how many people here in Mississippi, even with diabetes type 2, and Lord, and this is in the world, how many people are being treated for hypertension. Man, it is absolutely incredible. And how many of us are been treated with high cholesterol, right? So that's our expectation of ourselves. What's our expectation of food? How do we view food, and what is our expectation of food? Here's how we view food. Pleasure. Okay? And I'm not against you viewing food as something pleasure, because nobody want to eat nasty food. I tell people all the time, I don't want nasty food. I love good tasting food, but it just has to be good for my body. If it's not good for my body, it's not negotiable. But most of us, we view food as something we just, yeah, it's pleasure. When we think of food, we think of pleasure. Okay, what's our expectation of food? To give us pleasure. We don't view food as medicine. And that is my goal, to help you view food as medicine. We don't look at I'm gonna include some tomatoes today because I want to have lycopene, and I don't need you all concerned about lycopene and beta carotene and antioxidant. I just need you to eat from the four categories, which are your vegetables, your beans and your peas, which are your legumes and your grains, and then your fruit. And then just try to eat all the different colors, call them the nutrition rainbow colors, okay? Rather than viewing food as pleasure and eating food just simply for pleasure. I'm here to tell you today, you can have your pleasure, but you can also have the right nutrients into your system. There are certain food that does not have fiber in it. Again, if we look at dairy, dairy has zero fiber in it. The body needs fiber to help do what? Move fat along, help the digestive system. Dairy won't help you to accomplish that. So you need to know that about food, and then start respecting food with what, based on what food will do for you. Is that right? So dairy doesn't have any fiber. Meat doesn't have any fiber. Now, eat all the meat you want. That's not what I'm saying. Don't eat meat. I'm not telling you this. I'm just giving you the facts. And again, don't trust me, test me. Look it up, Google it. Take out your phone now and Google how much fiber does meat have. I don't care what meat we're talking about. Okay, you can eat any meat you want. You know, people sometimes don't conclude fish is meat, but fish is meat. Eat all the fish you want, but I'm just here to say it doesn't have any fiber in it. So it's going to stay in the system long. So we got to respect the fact that, look, I'm eating stuff that's going to stay in my system and it's not going to move along. Okay, so what fiber do I need to have in my body? Again, it's how we are viewing food. Okay, let me just keep it real. So listen up, bud. You can't play with high blood. With it, you can't bargain. It will destroy your organs. And diabetes type 2 won't play with you. It'll take your eyes, your leg, and your toes too. High cholesterol will have all of us to fall. Heart attacks, strokes, and all. Those dudes will affect your mood. To avoid them, we need to be educated about food. I'm just keeping it real. We all need to have some plant-based meal. When I start talking about plant-based food, I don't want you to think I'm telling you what not to eat. I'm telling you what to eat that's going to help your body fight off these diseases that you're being treated for. And these are some diseases that can take you out of here. So when we talk about having greens every day, like, and again, fruits every day. Don't tell me you don't like them. You don't like the way they've been prepared. So figure out how to prepare them so they're going to taste good to you. And I'm not telling you to go around eating nasty food. What I am telling you is to include the foods that's going to help your system to fight off the diseases that you don't want to have, because you're going to end up taking medication, like Miss Judy said, and then it's going to cause you to have other issues. Food is a great medicine without the side effects. So when we eat greens like spinach and kale and collard greens and turnip greens, and we're building the vitamin B's in our body, and we've known about these for years. You said, well, I can take a vitamin B complex. Yes, you can. But usually that your vitamin, and I'm not against you taking vitamins. Whatever you do that's going to help you, do it. But most of that comes out with your urine. What I want you to do is eat the food that's going to give you those same vitamins and minerals, because the body can use it and it know what to do with it, right? And it'll store it where it needs to be, and it'll use it when it needs it, right? So we got to be conscious of that. So how we view our doctors, how we view ourselves, and how we view food, all of that needs to change. Our doctors are our support system. Our doctors are not supposed to just take care of us. We are responsible for taking care of us. Our doctors will treat what we have caused to affect ourselves with. Like high blood pressure just doesn't come to you. We bring high blood pressure to us by the food that we eat. And the doctors, bless their heart, they're good enough to treat us for those diseases. And we do need to be treated for blood pressure because it is dangerous. I watched my mom on that, and it affected her kidneys and everything else. So point being, we need the doctors telling us, hey, I got to treat you for blood pressure, but I need you viewing yourself and saying, thank you, doc. I do want you to treat me for that. But this is going to be temporary, because here's what I'm going to do to make some changes. This is how I'm going to view myself. I'm going to start exercising. I'm going to change my diet, because I know you can treat high blood pressure, but I don't even want high blood pressure. So how do I get rid of high blood pressure? How can I avoid high blood pressure? These are the kind of things that I want you to start viewing yourself as doing, okay? Food, how are you going to view food? Here's how you're going to view food from this day going forward. Food is medicine. Food is the first medicine that you ought to be taking. And every time you put something in your mouth, you need to be thinking, all right, now, how is this going to help me? How is this going to affect me? Even if it's bad for you, you just need to realize that it's bad for you, right? That will help you decide how much of this you're going to eat and when you're going to eat it. Again, you can't eat chips every day and expect to keep the doctor away or keep the weight away. You can't do that because of the fat that's in it, because of the salt, sodium that's there, and all these things. No, you're eating yourself to bad health when you start doing things like that. You can't drink different sodas every day and expect to have the best kidney function. You can't. Your kidney needs certain things from you. And if you avoid giving it that, it's going to show you by how it's operating. And you can affect the way that it's operating, right? That's on you. But how you view food and how you view yourself is more important, in my opinion, and how you view the doctor. They go to school to treat what you have caused to yourself. Now, again, you had an accident, you didn't cause that, or you got a broken bone, but I'm talking about the diseases that we bring about because we don't view food properly. We let anybody sell us stuff because they want to sell it to us, and they know how to make it good. I'm grateful that man is smart enough to make food taste good, right? They know the amount of salt to put in it. They know the amount of fat to put in it. They know the amount of sugar to put in it, right? Now the amount of salt that they placed in it, and the amount of fat and the amount of sugar, you put it into your system. You got to start asking yourself, what is this doing to my system? Okay. Then you make a decision to eat it. Eat what you want, but at least know what it's doing to the system. We know what processed food would do to the system. We know what the sodium content would do to the system. We know what the fat would do to the system. We just gotta be more conscious of the amount that we put into our system. And then so I just don't want you to be blind. I don't want you to just eat blindly and then go to the doctor and your view of the doctor take care of me. No, you got to take care of you. You're responsible for you. And a lot of times, it's because of lack of food education. And I always say if we had more food education, we'd be on less medication. But for real, we got to get conscious of us looking at what we're putting in our system. And I said it earlier, I think it's totally disrespectful. I think it's totally disrespectful for you not to know the fat content of the crackers or the cake or whatever it is that you're eating, that you're putting in your system. If you don't know the amount of fat that you're putting in your system, because it's right there on the package, and they didn't do that voluntarily. It's a law that requires them to put that on there. But when you don't even look at it, and they make them put it on it, they make them put it on the label because they want folk to know how this can affect them. You need to know the fat content. You need to know the sodium content. These are things that you need to know, but we don't even read it. All we think about is what it tastes like. And then we just go and get it and we consume it over and over and over again. And then we wake up and wonder, how did I get like this? Well, think about it. You ate that. That's what got you to where you are. And now we need to be conscious going forward of how we can reverse this, how we can change this. First of all, we got to start respecting the body. We have to start respecting the body. Don't put anything in your body, without knowing what you put in your body. Again, did I say don't put stuff in your body that you don't want to find? I just want you to know what it is that you're eating. How much fat, how much sodium, okay? How much fiber. If it don't have any fiber, I don't even want it. I'm just being for real. So look at the labels. Stop disrespecting the most powerful machine that you have. Stop disrespecting it like that. And I know it's not all your fault because we've been taught wrong for so long, been given the wrong information. But here we are today on WMPR 90.1, providing you some information that's going to help you from this day going forward. When I say that type 2 diabetes won't play with you, it won't. It'll take your eyes, your legs, and your toes too. It will. So now I need to find out, how do I accomplish diabetes? How do I? You don't inherit diabetes type 2. Okay, you can bring it about. You may be predisposed, but you don't have to be fully exposed. You don't. You don't have to have what mama and them had. You don't just. My mama had high blood pressure. My mama had type 2 diabetes. My mom, high cholesterol. My mom had it all. I just decided that I don't want any of it because I watched her suffer through it all. Okay. My message to you and my goal for you is to be in control. I want my message to ring out loud. This guy, he want me to be in control of my health. This guy, he want me to take control of my life and not have to be on medication just because any and everybody is telling you what to eat. You know, people tell you what to eat and how to eat and when to eat. That's not cool. Again, I went to every function you go to, they're going to serve you what they have on the menu for you. If you go to, an event, and it may not be something that you want or even need, but you'll eat it anyway. Stop doing that. You're disrespecting your body. Just because they have fried chicken, don't mean you may not even want fried chicken. I don't care if it's from, I don't care where it's from. I won't even call the name of the company, but look, we got to do better than that because this is who we are, guys. Last time I checked, we only get one body on this side. And I want to be in the best health possible over here. I want to be able to move and run and play with the grand, not have to pop a pill or two. When the young lady was saying that her husband took 10 to 15, and you may be one of those people. Well, you continue to do it. But now we just need to start looking at how we can reduce some of that. Does that make sense? We can't continue to do the same thing and expect a different outcome. We got to do better. We're going to do better because we're going to continue to bring you the information on WMPR 90.1 because we know that you can grab this information on the run and it'll make a difference in your life for the rest of your life. So we got to continue to make sure that you understand that food is medicine and it doesn't have any side effect. Some medications absolutely will cause diabetes. You just need diabetes type 2. You just need to make sure that how you're viewing your doctor, that you're asking the right question, and then you're working with your doctor. Not just listen to what I'm saying, but working with your doctor saying, hey, I want to change my life. And it has to be something that you want. The doctor, he know how to treat you, but what do you want? How do you view the doctor? How do you view yourself? And how do you view food? What's your expectation of the doctor? What's your expectation of you? What is your expectation of food? I'm here to tell you as we close, your expectation of you and your expectation of food super exceed what your expectation of the doctor will be. I want you to know that we're going to be here every Thursday as long as we can because we want you to get this information. Thank you for being a part of My Help, My Mississippi, and we'll see you on next Thursday, same time, same station. #1 station in the nation that's providing you the best helpful information. Thank you for being a part of My Help, My Mississippi, and we'll see you next week. Have an awesome day and an awesome week. We are fighting for our health. Today, every day, responsible self. Where the fighters,